So hello everybody, this is my 28-29 week update. In this video I did watch my 28, 29, and 30 week videos for Landon and Aiden, so I will be referencing those videos quite a bit. I am officially 30 weeks as of today. I had a doctor's appointment last week, and this is what I learned at that doctor's appointment. I weigh 151.8, which I don't know how much weight I've gained since my last doctor's appointment, but as far as I remember, that's not very much. They checked my urine, or more like dipped the stick into the urine, and I read it myself. I still have moderate amounts of blood in my urine, but again, there's no protein present, so it's not a UTI. It's just blood. When I went to my appointment, my intent was to bring up my breathing. I know that that's very normal for the third trimester to have a hard time breathing, but mine has been really bad, and I know that some women can be given a inhaler with a really low steroid dose to help with that, but my doctor was just like, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. It is really bad while I'm sitting and standing and cooking. I think a trigger for me, which was something that I actually relearned about myself from referencing Aiden's week 29 vlog, was that I knew it was when I would get hot, when I would start having my problem breathing, and I kind of had an idea that that's what it was, but it makes sense that I would have a really hard time breathing while I'm cooking because I get hot. Although I did have a few episodes recently where when I was even laying down, it was really hard for me to breathe. And it's mainly when he's head up, when he's breech. So, the biggest reason that I know that he's breech is because my kicks, the kicks that I feel are way, way low. And that's what they brought up in my doctor's appointment was, yeah, he is breech. It does seem like he likes to be that way, but that does not mean that he's going to be breech when you need to deliver. So I'm a little bit worried about it, but he didn't seem too worried about it. My nausea is very sporadic. It's occasional and rather mild. Yesterday was the first time that it was stronger to where I was like, oh my god, I'm going to throw up. But I blame Red Bull. I took a little sip of Jimmy's Red Bull, and the baby did not like that at all. I have also been experiencing some very mild swelling, also normal for the third trimester for me, but I do blame my caffeine and salt intake. I have been craving coffee really badly, mainly iced coffee, and a lot of salty stuff. So that's what I blame mostly. My emotional state right now is really intense because my fuse is really short. I have absolutely no patience. I am turning into that mom, and I hate every second of it. I am angry a lot. I am crying over just everything. I'm trying my hardest to stay super patient, because I'm so understanding, but my patience is just gone. Like, if you do anything little to irritate me, it's a trigger. And I think for me, that's the worst part of this pregnancy, has been my emotional state, not necessarily anything physical. So I'm going to start referencing the videos more frequently now. In my Aiden video was when I first figured out what Braxton Hicks contractions were, because I had no idea. When I first had them, I did end up going into my doctor's office, and they said, yes, these are fake contractions, as I referred to them in the video. I did explain it rather interesting. I was going to say horribly, but it wasn't that bad, really. But I'm guessing that those Braxton Hicks started out around week 27, 28, and that pregnancy, my Braxton Hicks for this pregnancy started around 21 weeks. But as of now, they have stopped for the most part. I still do get them occasionally, but it's nothing like it was, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago. The breathlessness with Aiden's pregnancy began around now, too. And Landon's pregnancy seems to be pretty bad around now, too. But still not as bad as this time. And I said that in my Landon video. I was like, man, I had no idea what I was talking about. I have no idea what I was talking about then. I did realize that in my Aiden video, I referenced a lot of back pain. I don't have that this time. It could just be because my body's more used to it than it was. But I did mention that I had hip pain in Landon's video. I'm not in that much pain with those things. Sometimes if I lay on one side too long, mainly my left side, then my hip hurts. If I sleep on my back too long, it's hard to get up. But as for actual pain, I'm not experiencing that this time, and I'm very grateful. My belly's not really itchy. It's kind of started to be a little itchy, but again, my skin was stretching its most in Aiden's pregnancy because it was my first pregnancy. This time, not so much because my body is used to it. So in my 29-week video, I did kind of talk about my want for a water birth, Landon's video, and how I was kind of bummed because one of my biggest wishes for that pregnancy was a water birth, because Daph was very uncomfortable with me giving birth at a birth center or at home. Those were very open options, even though I was a VBAC. But at the hospital I did choose for Landon's birth, they only allow you to water birth if you are not a VBAC. So I was very disappointed in that. And here, it's a completely different situation because this time I was dead set on no hospitals, no interventions. I wanted birth center or home birth. But here in Arizona, it's actually kind of illegal to do home birth if you're a VBAC. And you cannot deliver at a birth center either. So, I guess I'm just not meant to have that kind of birth. I'm supposed to give birth in a hospital. There's a reason for everything. And I've kind of come to terms with I'm most likely going to have a lot of intervention when I do end up going into the hospital. Although I do still have the power to say no, it's not that at all. It's the fact that both times I've been in labor, I've been bullied by the nursing staff to get certain things and do certain things that I didn't want to do originally when I walked in the door. So I am very hesitant to trust nursing staff for the most part. That doesn't mean that this hospital is going to be horrible. This hospital has a lot of great reviews, and that was never my issue, but I think the only thing that I can do to avoid as much intervention as possible is if I'm able to go into labor myself with my scare of the baby being breech. If I'm able to go into labor by myself, I am going to try and hold off on going to the hospital for as long as possible. That's my only plan, and that's it. That's all I've got to try and avoid intervention. I've kind of learned that nobody gives a shit what you want when you're in labor. If they want you to get an epidural, you're probably going to get one unless you're very unless you got a very supportive team behind you, like your spouse or a doula or just family members that are willing to tell them, like, no, she said no, or remind me of what I wanted originally when you go in there. It really doesn't seem like I'm going to go without. In my 30-week video with Aiden, I actually did talk about getting heartburn, but I don't think I knew that's what it was. I don't have that this time. I just burp a lot and loudly. I just let him out. I really don't care. It seems like I noticed that my emotions were also taking a dip around this time. This is something about feeling ugly. I'm feeling the same way now. I'm wanting to change my appearance and do my makeup more often. I put my piercings back in, as you've noticed. It's just little things like that. I actually might dye my hair red soon. Maybe this weekend or next weekend. So by the next video, maybe it'll be red. With Aiden's pregnancy, I had my baby shower around 29 weeks. No, 31. 31, sorry. And then Landon's I had around 32 weeks. This time I should have my baby shower around 34 weeks. I guess this is a trend to have it rather early in my 30, but this time around I think that's a good thing. With Aiden's pregnancy, I remember I scheduled it that early because I wanted to do it before everyone started school again, because I was 17, and I think it was like the weekend before the last weekend of summer. But yeah, that's all I've got. That is my week 29, week 28 and 29 update. I am officially in the 10 weeks left mark. I am very feels very surreal that I don't have that much longer left. I'll see you all next time for my next video. Bye!